All right, we're live. Dana White Contender Series, Week 5. Bets and predictions. I'm your host, Picks by Pegasus, here with Dre V. Key 3 picks. I guess here we are with a pretty crummy Dana White Contender Series card. What do you guys think?
Hey, the first
fun
women's
fight.
MMA fight on the entire season, so I'm sure he's happy about it. It's actually a good fight, but yeah, I mean, there's like 2, 3 good fight on this card, honestly. But outside of that, there's like 2 really shit fights. So
I
yeah,
think
I mean, we're never gonna complain, right? It's better, any fight than no fight. But it's kind of annoying when we get like, I don't know, 2, 3 dog shit fighters on a card that we're supposed to have prospect on, honestly. But yeah, I guess it is what it is. But yeah, I think there's like two. Yeah, I think there's at least 2 or 3 good fighters on this card.
I don't know. I wasn't impressed by anyone. I think there's like 1 or 2 bets I'd make, but I'm trying not to bet it after last week's debacle on Dana White Contender Series. We all profited in Paris, as we always do. Great night of fights. Honestly, sick card.
Insane card. My French people went crazy. Shout out Nicolas.
Crowd's always good in France, honestly.
Shout out Nicolas beating the Fighting Nerds. Elite coach.
Yeah. BSD looked, I think, career best. I loved everything about that. It was so much fun to make fun of my friends in my living room while BSD beat the fucking brakes off of Hoofy. It's a good day. But let's get right into this. Let's just get into this card. We'll stop wasting everyone's time.
We got people in the comments. Let's address that first.
Okay, let's do that first. Jack, thanks for joining us. Same with Champ.
Jack. It was Champ. What's up, Champ?
Olajuwon, Jackson, Jack.
What up?
Jack and Jewish. We'll see you Wednesday, bro. Ruffy got exposed, that's for sure. Drop, good call on the Nick guy. We're not shouting out French MMA. Come on.
For sure we are. What are you talking about? After that last night, you better shout them out, bro.
They deserve it.
So good. They deserve it for sure, bro. The crowd went fucking crazy as well.
Never. All right, let's get into this fight.
You got any comments about French MMA? We're listening.
Yeah, the only time I'll cheer for French MMA is when they win me money. When they don't, I don't want to hear anything about it. All right, first fight of the night: Felipe Franco versus Freddie Vidal. Freddie Vidal 3-0. Felipe Franco 8-0. Franco just got rebooked. He was supposed to fight some guy from Connecticut. He was going to sub him very quickly, so he pulled out Quentin Ashley or something like that, I think it was. I think Key knows the name better.
Yeah, Quentin Pasley or something like
Quentin
that.
Pasley, whatever it was. He was going to get subbed. That's why he dropped out. All right. Felipe Franco is minus 315. Freddie Vidal plus 265. Let me ask you guys this. How'd you do finding tape on these guys?
There's not a lot of tapes. I think I found 3 fights of Franco. But it's a classic from this fucking camp, right? He's at Gelton Almeida camp, and remember Rafael Sequeira when you
they all delete the tapes so you can't see anything on them.
What you mean? Yeah, they fight bums, right? And there's another guy on this card that's also from that camp we're going to talk about. Yeah, it's really hard to find tapes from these people, but I was able to find I think it's 3. Yeah, I think I've watched 3 fights. Then you need to go back, watch on Instagram a little bit, see what he's up to. And I mean, I don't even know what the fuck you want me to say about this fight. Like, I don't know much about this Vidal guy either. He's not really supposed to be here. Franco, I'll say, with what I've seen, he looked like he can grapple some, but it's against bums. But he looks to be really strong, and you know what he's doing. He's a BJJ black belt now, training at a good camp, but never seen him go past the first round. Never, seen him against a good guy. All of his wins have a negative record outside of one, who's 19 and 18 and 45 years old. All the other guys was like 0-0, 0-2, 0-1. It's like, what is this? And this Vidal guy, he's not good either. I've watched, I think, an amateur fight and a pro fight. I was like, yeah, Man, it's a shit show, bro. I don't know what to say. I think Franco should win, but I don't know enough to he's a big favorite. I don't know what the fuck you want me to do with it.
I think he cooks here. I think Franco cooks here. I think he's gonna find sub here. I mean, you know how I do it. You know what Contender Series. I can't find tape on you. I'm just gonna assume you're dog shit until you prove me otherwise. So yeah, Felipe Franco, however he wants. What do you think, Kay?
Yeah, Franco should get it done. Both of them look pretty limited. I just don't get why they put some of these people on Contender Series. I get managers have a bunch of deals and there's a bunch of business behind this stuff, but like there has to be better prospects out there, and we know that there are. So this is just kind of an annoying fight to have on a pretty, like, this isn't the highest level card, but I mean these are some fun fights. So, but this should, I think, has the potential to be a squash match with Franco getting an initial takedown, getting on top, and finding a finish from there.
How swole not gas?
Because Reed starts bleeding if you even throw a feint at him.
Yeah, I think this is a good card to skip as well for gambling. There are actually two fights I kind of liked after watching tapes. Like, maybe I could gamble on these two fights, but that's it. There's only like two fighters I'm really interested in betting. What do you guys think? You guys think this is one to really invest in?
I don't think it's a really good card per se, but I still think there's decent spot. And I think with violence props, sometimes it can be good on Dynamite Contender Series, because you guys remember, but first episode was dog shit, like all decision.
Yeah.
And then Dynamite did his show, and then it's all like a lot of finishes, a lot of under cashes, and all the card is set at 1.5, right? The limits is not open yet on those totals, but if you guys have question about like total or anything like that, when they're a big favorite, you can ask us. We can talk about it. But like all under 1.5 is chalk outside of the female fight was under 2.5, and it's almost pick'em. So yeah, I think the totals could be good angles. And then still with the money line, even if it's not a good card, if we have like 2 or 3 fights that are bettable, it's not too bad. First 2 weeks were like all -5, -700 favorites, so it's not terrible, but it's not the best card for sure.
No. All right, next fight: Chase and Blair versus Samuel Sanches. Samuel Sanches 10-1, Chase and Blair 7-3. Odds on these two gentlemen: you can get Blair +110, Sanches -130. I'll go first here. I really thought I went into tape thinking I was going to bet Blair, just for kind of like what we talked about, where it's really hard to find some tape on Samuel Sanches. Doesn't look that great to me personally, from what you can tell. I like that he fights from either stance. I think he has a good jab. Kind of can be low output at times. I think overall he's a better athlete than Blair is in general. Blair is very hittable. Blair kind of has gas tank issues in some senses. I think he has a heavy one.
What you mean in some senses?
Like when he can grapple and he can wrestle, but when he has to do that, he kind of slows down. At least I thought so.
He has bad cardio.
Yeah, so when he grapples especially, that's kind of what I was hinting at. So if he grapples here, I don't see him outlasting Sanches. So the longer the fight goes on, I think probably favors Sanches. And also, like I said, from what you can find on him and the highlights, like Samuel looks like a pretty good athlete in general. So I mean, at a pick'em price here, I don't mind going with Sanches. Plus, this is like, I don't know, something about this fight this speaks to me. I don't really like Cage Warrior fighters, to be honest with you. I don't think too high of those prospects at all. I mean, look what kind of happened this weekend with them. So I don't know. I think out of sheer athleticism, I'd probably take Sanches, but I'm not necessarily sure I'm interested in betting this fight just yet.
And what do you think about his takedown defense of Sanches? Because you said Blair could maybe wrestle.
I think he'll have I think he'll be able to defend takedowns here, just like I said, of sheer athleticism. But like, I wouldn't be worried about Blair's wrestling. I think he can kind of keep it standing, honestly. What do you think? You seem to have an opinion. What do you got for me?
Yeah, I like this Sanches guy. Honestly, like you said, there's unknowns because I think I found 4 fights overall. I mean, 3 fights and another fight with highlights. So not a lot of tapes, but if you can watch a couple things, right? If you go on his Instagram, again, he's another guy training with Jeton Almeida and these guys. And one thing I'll say, he's a massive lightweight, 6'1", 72 inches of reach, massive dude. Jack, look really strong, look imposing in the cage. So that's the first thing I'll say. He doesn't look undersized when he's training when he's in the same picture of these bigger guy Almeida and all these guys. So he's a big dude for the division. He's gonna have a big size advantage here. And yeah, I mean he's only 22 years old, and with what I've seen, again, not a lot, but he has really fast ends. He has good kicks. He goes to the body, body kicks, body shot as well. He seems really precise. And he went 15 minutes 2 times, right? One of the time he went 15, not a good look per se, because the guy that he went 15 against is not a good fighter. But he was 21. He still made it to a decision and looked good, even though he slowed down a little bit. But that guy, even though he has a negative record, he normally loses by decision when he loses. So I don't know, he still hurt him in that fight, but it was not a good look that he didn't finish him. But I like the fact that he was able to defend takedowns a lot in that fight. I know that guy is not the best wrestler, but you can still see by the way he defend takedowns and that he has really strong hips, just the way he defend, the way he fight the hands, just the basic stuff, right? And he seems really strong. So I think his takedown defense is all right. And with the camp he's in, you can be sure that he's getting taken down and he needs to get up and stuff like that. Now, I don't want to put too much thought into that camp because I remember people, were betting Rafael Sequeira saying, he's from that camp, he should be good, blah, blah, blah. I don't want to be like that, but, it's still a good team to be around and good grappler. And if you go back and watch Sanches on Instagram, he did a BJJ grappling competition. He's a BJJ purple belt, and he won that tournament. It was 6 months ago, so it showed me that the guy at only 22 is looking to improve his game, which is pretty good to see. And again, he's around good guys. And yeah, the way I look at it, he's a better striker. I think he has the faster hands. I think he can hurt Blair, especially to the body. We've seen Blair broke before. I don't think he's that good of a fighter per se, but like what he's good at, he's good in round 1. Like good wrestling, he has a wrestling background, he has a submission game, flashy striking. I think his striking is all right, but after 5-6 minutes, you can see that he doesn't like it. He doesn't like the pressure, and I don't think he's gonna have an easy time taking Sanches down. And if he try, and if he's successful, I'm not sure he's gonna be able to hold him down. With what I've seen from Sanches, when he got taken down, he got right back up. The fight that he lost, he got heel hook. It was a meme because he was beating that guy ass. Was not even close, and then that guy just ran from his leg, and he got heel hook, and it was just he was only 19 years old at the time, and you watch the guy, he's 8-5 now, and he has 8 submissions, so it's not like he's a complete bum. That's how he's gonna win fight, and he got caught 19 years old. Shit happened, but yeah, the last fight that he got was a quick KO, and again, I think that he's powerful. I think that he's dangerous early, like Blair is. But I trust him more as the fight extends personally. I think he can break Blair. I think he's going to go to the body. And we've seen it with Cody still. If you pressure Blair, you put him on the back foot, you go to the body, you can break him. And you can, if you hit him hard to the body, you can put him down. And even on the chin, he can be hurt. And yeah, so I don't think he's that good personally. He's only 26. Maybe you can say he's going to be improving. But if you watch the way, like, he has 6 round 1 finishes, right? But if the fight go past round 1, he's 0-2. So yeah, I do think Sanches gonna look better as the fight extends. I think he's the better fighter. But yeah, there's unknown. I just think that like I'd pick him. I think it's a good play.
What do you think, Key?
Yeah, I think that this shit is awful. Yeah, I mean, I don't really like either guy here. I'll start with Blair. Blair has a real wrestling background. I remember hearing about it before the Cody Steele fight and his first time around on Dana White Contender Series. Looked into it and him wrestling at UNC, and which is a great school, D1 wrestling. real background in the state of California. You would expect him to be more physical or more of a dog due to that wrestling background, but sometimes it feels like he just lacks testosterone in his body. I mean, he just sort of melts eventually as the fight goes on. I don't know if it's a focus thing. I don't know if it's just there's too much happening and you get overwhelmed type of deal, but he hasn't proved over time, and he could be making improvements, and maybe the Cody Steele fight was a good learning lesson for him on a big stage, because I don't think that he's bad. It's just he doesn't have the fight in him, so to speak, like you'd like to see all the time, because I don't think that his skills are honestly bad at all. Like, he can get takedowns. He is good on the back. And round one, we know that he's a good finisher. On the feet, he's not bad. He's at least trying to put together things. He manages range somewhat well. Like, he's not awful. It's just as the fight progresses, it just, you start to see some like what the fuck type of decisions and things happening. And so I don't think that he's awful, but again, I don't think he probably shouldn't be here, and he probably deserves to get another 2 to 3 wins on regionals and Cage Wars before coming back to Dan White Contender Series. So I'm kind of unsure as to why he's back so quickly. But on the Sanches side, I'm not really overly impressed. One, there's only 3 fights of him that anybody's found. One of them, he gets heel hooked in round 1 after getting a takedown. And then one of them, he goes to decision with somebody's drunk Brazilian uncle. And then the other, he knocks somebody out in the first minute after getting touched a little bit. So, like, what do you know about this guy? Like, we don't really know much. And all of it is like, yes, like, it's cool that he's in Jailton's camp and stuff. And I don't believe that he's a Cercaria level guy. I hope not, at least. So I hope he doesn't pull a Cercaria and be like that out of that camp. But I don't know what I'm getting. And so, like, I can guess all I want about as to what he may be or what he is, but like, I'm guessing on a sport that's already volatile, 1, but 2, on a show that's even more volatile. So it's just tough to try to get a gauge on this fight. I think Sanches can win. He looks like a big athletic guy. He looks somewhat fluid. It doesn't seem like he knows what he's doing yet as a fighter. It doesn't seem like there's real game plans based off of the decision where he was getting backed up by this older guy. And that guy was 7-11. So that's a guy that he's supposed to quickly dispose of, but instead win a 15-minute sort of calmer decision that was kind of questionable. So I just don't know how good he is. I have no clue. So although signs point to him being solid, there's still red flags with him. And so, yeah, I hope that there's upside with the athleticism and the frame. And it makes sense that there can be a lot of improvements. And yes, he's obviously the guy, as my cat makes an appearance. He's obviously a guy, but I think that he'll be fine here. I guess I lean Sanches just based off athleticism.
Where'd Drav go also?
I'm not sure.
Dude, your cat is on your head.
Yeah.
She's on the chair.
Yeah, she's on that chair.
Okay, what's the cat's name? You got any name for the cat?
Junie.
He's got pussy all over him. That's funny. So, yo, what's happening? Thanks for joining us.
Luke?
No idea how good Sanches is. I don't know. I like Sanches here too. I don't know. I think he's probably got to be the side here. I don't trust this guy Blair. Fuck it, go for a leg lock. Yeah, that's fair. That's a fair remark.
Yeah, he didn't there wasn't much grappling. It's not like he just completely wrestled the old man. The old guy had him against the cage a little bit of that fight. So you just don't know with this guy. Blair's just a flake though. So I feel like if you're betting Sanches, you're kind of just betting on Blair being a flake.
Yeah. Well, Job just texted us saying, my dog closed my computer and now it's not opening. LOL. So you got the cat, he's got the dog. Either way, we move on. Even they know it's just a waste of time. Cam Teague, Larion Douglas, Gunslinger versus Chaos, 9-1 versus 12-5. Odds easy coming. Teague is plus 375. Douglas is minus 500. Watching tape, this is clear power versus volume, in my opinion. Cam Teague's going to throw much more power, be more relentless, Lorian's going to just swing for the fences. We know if Teague gets touched, he's probably dead. Could happen here. Wouldn't surprise me if Loran Douglas finds a finish. I think I'm going to go with is there unders out, totals out for this yet or no?
Yeah, there is.
What's done there? Under 1.5. I like it. I think he could have done it in a round, but I wonder what round one prices are for Larian. Probably a little bit better than that. That's kind of my thought process. What do you think here?
Yeah, I think that this is a banger. This is like a really, really fun fight. And I was probably a little close to taking a dog shot on Teague. As I don't think the Douglas is like minus 500 good. If I remember correctly, this was around the price Vallejos was against Teague. And I don't think the Douglas is that guy. I do think that Douglas is really cool. He carries fucking nukes and hammers in his hands. And since joining Cub Swanson and the guys over there, he's just taking leaps in his development. It seems like he's more comfortable in the cage. He's finding his counters and his timing really well. There's a few red flags before this long knockout streak and this exciting streak, and that's the reason why he's getting the shot is due to 4 straight KOs in LFA. But before that, Isaac Thompson just sort of dealt with him, him off of pace, pressure. I mean, that Muay Thai background, but the head kick and everything. Douglas just showed a lack of fight, in my opinion, in that fight. Just he wasn't willing to throw back. So I think that this line is wide for a guy that shown that if somebody's backing out their gun too and hits him with it, that he's willing to go down. So I think that this price is a little wide. I do think that Douglas knocks him out because Teague is a punching bag. Like he just walks forward and he is not going to do shit else. There's no change up. It is strictly fastballs in his game. So I think that Douglas is going to put him out, and I do think that it probably will be brutal. I can see that left hook. While Teague wants to jab, I can see that left hook catching Teague and putting him out cold, honestly. So I do think that Douglas gets the KO. I do think that this line is wide. Nobody should be parlaying Douglas at minus 500 whenever he is relatively like low volume. In between him finding the knockout shots, like he's kind of just there. And the good part for him in this case is that Teague is going to come forward, and so Douglas is going to have a million opportunities to find his shot.
I think.
What'd you say?
I think you get exactly what you're going to say. Like he's got so many opportunities to set up that hook.
Yeah,
so it's just going to be a matter of time. I still wonder if you do it under 1.5.
I could see it going over potentially.
Describe it also is Teague is always really loses, and this guy's could be losing till he wins. I think that's perfectly described, but I think it's going to happen.
Yeah. So I side with Douglas. I think he finds round 1 or round 2 KO. Teague is going to give him a bunch of opportunities, but this is something that honestly I would look at live. I know that even you can hop in and throw a little bit on it. But I think if you get in live and you start to see Douglas folding a little bit to the pressure and Teague starts getting in his flow and walking him down, I think you can start getting on a Teague bet there. So, but Douglas by KO is my prediction.
Yeah. All right, Trav. We kind of went through it. I think we both kind of agreed that Cam Teague's line is wide in general, but I think Larryman's still going to find the finish. I don't hate the under either. What do you think? Trav?
Does he not hear us?
No, there he goes. All right. Perfect. You guys didn't want to hear a long-winded answer about these two bums anyway.
Tristan said Douglas seemed to improve a lot after going to Cub Swanson team. And I completely agree. I think that that's definitely leveled him up and big-time reason as to why he's here.
Yeah. Drop you on Pluto. Cole Stein, thanks for joining us, bro.
Good, Cole.
Yep, losing to the wins. Teague, a line a little wide. I'd agree. What's happening, Billy? Yeah, Larian is the name of the world. I wonder what they make the KO prop. Under minus 125, so you got to assume what, minus 175?
I think we
get worse than
that. If he's minus 500, I think it should be a worse price.
Yeah, so we're talking under. We're talking Larian by KO. We're talking Teague wins till he loses, line wide. Where are you at with this, Strauss?
I mean, it's kind of hard for me this one because Douglas is the better fighter. He has power, but he's low volume at time, and he weigh too much to get started. So that's kind of tricky because Cam Teague is going to go out there. He's going to pressure him, be in his face. So because of that, Douglas going to have his opportunity to land big, and when he go for it, he can knock people out. His last one was impressive over Johns. And his last 3 fights, I think he was an underdog, and he keep on, proving people wrong. And now he's a big favorite, so that's just something to note. And Cam Teague, he's just the type of guy that's gonna look to underwhelm you. He's gonna try to break you late. But the way he fight, I've seen Douglas hurt in a couple fights. Even in one of his win recently, I think it was not his. I think it was 3 fights ago. He got hurt in round 1, so he can be hurt. He's been finished before. Cam can be hurt to the body as well, as we've seen against Vallejos. So I think they can both get hurt, honestly. But I think Douglas carry way, way more power. And Cam is really hittable. So Douglas should probably find a kill shot. What I'm kind of looking at is, Douglas has a lot of round 2 finishes. And like I said, he kind of starts slow at times. So I'm not sure if because of Cam's style and because of how reckless he is, and how in his face is going to be, that's going to open Douglas to land a kill shot early, or maybe that the fight's going to extend because there's a lot of fights that goes like over 1.5 for both of them. So I'm not too sure about a total, but I think someone's going to get finished eventually. I would like to see like a under maybe 2.5 round, or maybe fight ends by KO. I don't know that's going to be. But that could be decent because I feel like at a high clip, someone's going to get finished. I think Douglas is going to find a KO, but probably more so in round 2 or something. So I'm not sure if it's under 1.5 or over 1.5. So I think that the total of being at 1.5 at the pick'em is pretty sharp because it's a coin flip, honestly. I kind of lean over, but I'm not too confident. So I think Douglas is going to win probably by knockout in round 2, honestly. But I do think that Cam has a chance. And I think that Douglas is maybe a bit overrated now after, winning against good competition by knockout. But I've seen the guy being low volume, take his time a little bit too much sometimes. But yeah, he's clearly the better fighter. It's just Cam is the type of guy that, if you don't knock him out, he's gonna compete.
Yeah. All right. Let's take a look here. Why is it? Why the fuck is Cam Teague on here again? He's here to get knocked out, bro. Welcome to the show. This is Dana White Contender Series. All right, Chanel Dyer versus Carol Foro. Foro 8-1. Dyer 6-0. Line on this fight. You get Dyer at -180. You get Foro at -155. Key, obviously, the little girls MMA. What do you think?
Yeah, this is not low level at all. This is probably one of the highest level women's MMA fights, in my opinion, that Dana White Contender Series has gotten in a while. One, it's the first one of the season, and I think that this is very fitting. It's funny that they can get these high level girls, but there could have been so many more fights on here. But I think that here, I like both the girls. I think both of them are good in their own separate ways. I'll start on the Dyer side. I think that she is just a freak athlete, and she's coming down to 115 here, where she's fought 125 most of her career. But apparently on social media, she's talked about this being her true weight class, and which makes sense. And I think that she's a freak athlete for this weight class. And at first I thought that they had Foro coming up to 125 here, which I didn't like. But now it's Dyer actually coming down to 115. So that's good for her career. And I think is to maximize her ceiling, I think that this is probably the right weight class for her. On the Dyer side, she's a great Muay Thai striker, sharp as they come. She uses her kicks like their jabs, pretty much the way that she just is constantly tapping those legs, constantly putting out volume and filling space with something. Her physicality in the clinch is nice, great knees to the body. She's had some spinning elbows, head kicks. I mean, she's really, really cool striker and fun striker to watch. In her last fight against Scatizzi, I think that there were a few red flags. She was getting her face jabbed up a good bit by Scatizzi. Scatizzi is a girl who kind of is just a tough girl. She grinds girls out in the clinch. And it's just sort of one of those mean girls that isn't the most gifted athletically or anything, but just as nasty and mean. And so Skatizi did her job. I don't think that should have been a split. I think that Dyer did win the fight pretty clearly, but it showed that Dyer has some holes boxing-wise defensively. Her head doesn't move off the center line all that much based off that Muay Thai background. And she kind of just takes shots, and chinning can be up sometimes. And she got her head popped back a good bit against Skatizi. And Skatizi is somebody who is not a good striker whatsoever. But Skatizi bit down her mouthpiece and stuck that jab in there as a smaller girl. On the Foro side, I think the Foro is really cool. But I think their process is a little bit flawed. She lacks volume at times, but she does have some really, really nice boxing. She finds shots and places shots really well. Her power has looked real deal here. And she's a patient striker. She's a patient striker finding her reads. And I think that can be problematic versus like a really annoying striker in Dyer who's constantly tapping, constantly throwing volume and always putting something out there. I think Foro is going to have a little bit of a harder time, especially early, trying to find her reads and find her ways in. Foro does a really good job at cutting the cage off. She goes to the body, which is something that feels like it's just so rare in MMA and especially women's MMA. But she punches to the body really well. But the girls that she's facing are just not good. Like a lot of them are just not good. Consuli is not a bad loss whatsoever, in my opinion. Consuli is solid on the regional scene. And everybody else, Foro is just completely disposed of. I mean, she's knocking these girls out, and they're also way smaller and about her size or a little bit taller than her. And Dyer is somebody who's going to be much, much bigger than Foro. So I haven't seen Foro have success against a taller opponent like Dyer or somebody as physical as Dyer. But all the signs point to her traits translating here, in my opinion. I think that her ability to find the shots, her ability to go to the body, she's constantly tapping the attritional work that leads to the big shots that she does find. And she has real power. And I don't think that there's any doubt about that. Yeah, the girls are smaller and not the highest level, but she has real power. And I think special power for 115 especially. So this is the correct weight class for her for sure. And I hope that she doesn't keep jumping up from 125 and coming back down. She needs to stay at 115 because I think that she can do some real work. Pick-wise, I'll go Dyer. I do think that Dyer gets it done. I think that this line is about right. I would say 60 to 65% makes sense to me. Dyer's boxing defense is a worry for me. And if you're getting jabbed up by Skatizi, I have to imagine that Foro is going to be able to have some type of moment on you. And as the fight wears on and Foro continues pressing forward, I don't think that Dyer's cardio is bad at all, but I do think that her defense will get a little more loose. I think that chin will start to go up a little bit higher, and I could see Foro having success late. And if I think that the over-under is probably a little wild, in my opinion. I think that this should be, you can look to over here because I think most of the finishing upside comes through a Foro KO or a Dyer head kick or some shit. And I don't think that that's close to 50% or 45% or anywhere near. So I think over could be a potential decent look. I think that the money line, I think it's about right, and this makes sense. But I think that both girls are good. UFC level, both really cool fighters. And I think that Dyer gets it done by decision. 29-28, I can see Foro winning that third round. And coming on a little late, but I think that she just waits around a little too long. I think that Dyer can win minutes here, and Foro is going to have to rely on winning moments. And at 115 in women's MMA, that's kind of a tough sell to get behind.
This guy thinks Dyer is going to grapple here. What do you think?
She is the bigger girl. I don't think that she grapples, but she is the bigger girl. There is potential for that. But Foro, in her loss, she did get grappled by Consuli, and Consuli does that to about everybody, just grinds them out in weird, ugly ways. And again, she was the smaller girl and will be the smaller girl here, but I think that Dyer keeps this on the feet. Maybe she shoots a takedown to try to bail herself out, but I think that would have to come in the clinch with a foot sweep or something.
Dog, so this is his Super Bowl.
Yeah, this is good MMA.
Real ones bet Foro on LFA. Kick was disgusting. Yeah, I think this is the Dyer side here for sure. I think she gets started early with leg kicks. Should be pretty straightforward. Going to be massive here. Probably going to go belt to ass, honestly. That's how I predict it. But hey, I'm just some guy. What do you think, Drav?
Yeah, I don't get too hyped for women's MMA as much as he does, but I think this one is a really fun one, honestly. And I think Dyer is the real deal. I think she has massive upside in the weight class. And yeah, I mean, the fight was listed at 125 pounds for like the last couple of days, but Dyer posted something on Instagram saying that she's going to be fighting at strawweight. She's been training hard to get down to that weight class. She's saying that's her weight class. That's where she should have been fighting for a long time, but they couldn't get her fights at 125 in the PFL. So that's why she at 115 the PFL. That's why she was at 125. And if you look, she fought at 115 as an amateur. Oh yeah, that was so bad, bro. I've watched that fight back. That was bad. She get head kick. She get head kick knocked down in round 1. And then she get finished ground and pound in round 3. But she was like 18 years old, to be fair, when that happened. But still, that was really bad. I can't lie. But yeah, overall, I think that she's really solid, honestly. I think that when you look at her, first of all, for her camp, she did, before that fight got announced, when she knew she's going to be on Dynamite Contender Series, she went to TriStar in Montreal, training with Zahabi. After that, she's bringing, I don't even know how to say, BG Top Team, right? The camp in the UK. British, it is British. I don't even know. Let me just see it. Nobody's helping me.
I think it's Great Britain Top Team.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I was searching. Yeah, so that's where she normally trains. So she did a part of yeah, I mean, that girl took a beating against Dakota, though. You know, she took a beating, survived all round 1 against Dakota, and then doctor stoppage. So, I mean, she's really tough, like he said, and she took a lot of damage. But yeah, anyway, my point was that
no, that wasn't the Dakota fight. I don't think he was referencing. She got KO'd in 20 seconds in the police.
No,
right after.
I know, but after Dyer, I'm saying she fought Dakota before, and then she fought Dyer. So she took a lot of damage, and then after that, she got KO'd in round 1 early. So maybe that's why, I don't know. But yeah, anyway, that girl is tough normally, though. So that's something to note. And yeah, I mean, Dyer, again, I think at 115, she's going to be a problem. So she did, like I said, part of her camp where I said, and she finished her camp at Extreme Couture. Did some camp at the UFC PI as well. So she's been around. She's she's working hard, and she's walking around at 130 pounds. So if anyone is worried about the 115, she basically said that at 125 is basically not even a weight cut for her. So at 115, it's going to be more of a weight cut in her natural weight class, and where she thinks she's going to have a lot of success. So I think that she's going to be good in that weight class personally. And what I really like about Dyer is her kicks. I think that's going to be a difference maker in that fight. She's the way better kicker. Her kicks are really fast. Teep kicks, head kick, leg kicks, everything. You name it, right? And at distance, she's going to be much taller, longer, bigger. So I think that Faro at distance, she's going to have a lot of issues, against Dyer. But in the pocket, exactly what he said, I do agree with that. She's going to have success. Her boxing is nice. She does throw hard. She goes to the body. She has power, that's for sure. But I mean, her wins were terrible. Like some of these girls just falling over when she hit her. It's not even like she has power, but some of this level of competition is really bad. The only girl that is good that she fought, Peg mute you, Mike. The only girl that she fought that was good, she lost. Obviously that girl, she's big. It was up a weight class and she grappled her. But I mean, at the end of round 2 and in round 3, terrible fight IQ. That girl was tired. She needed to grapple. And Foro, instead of, trying to strike with her and trying to go for the KO, she keep on going for a guillotine, and she keep on, trying to grapple, engaging in the clinch. And then she got taken down in round 3 and she couldn't get up. And that girl was tired on top and chilling. So she lost that fight because of that. And then, even against, the lower level competition I'm talking about recently, like that girl that she fought last time, 7-2. But if you look, the girl she's beating are like all 0-0. So I'm not impressed with that personally. But some of these fights, the round two finish she got, I didn't like that. First of all, that girl was hitting her clean. I think it's that fight. She got kind of caught with a spinning. It's a injury. I don't know why exactly, but it's a injury. But Dyer said that she was she was trying to negotiate with the PFL because she wanted to fight at strawweight, and they couldn't fight or any fight at strawweight, and she wanted to do that for her career. So maybe that's like all in the between. That's what happened. Like she got injured. She won fight at 115. They did give her a fight, and then she went to the UFC instead than at Contender Series, where I think she belonged. But yeah, where I was, Foro and the fight against that girl that got into round 2, right? I didn't like that. Like you said, like yeah, she could pressure Dyer, and Dyer defense get a bit worse as the fight extended. But Foro had her hands down. Like she had her hands down. She pushed through it. Like don't get me wrong, she didn't get gas out or anything like that. But like her hands was down, looking around, stop pressuring, and then after that she got the kill shot. But still, it didn't look too good to me, honestly.
I'll come back at that point a little bit, just because I do think in context, like that girl couldn't hurt her. So like I wouldn't expect for her to be like walking forward to Dyer with her hands down,
she couldn't,
showing no respect.
She couldn't hurt her, but that's the point. Why is she not walking forward and just going for the kill if she has no danger against her?
She did walk forward for a lot of that fight.
In round 1, not in round 2. In round 2, she was looking around.
She hit the body in round 2.
At the end of round 2, like the last 30 seconds. But in round 2, when she was looking at her in the center of the cage, doing nothing for like 15 seconds. Then she was with her hands down, and then after that she go back, and then she unload the combination, but no resistance, right, in that fight. And I do think her cardio is a bit sketchy, honestly. Dyer has shown me 15 minutes performance against, even though it's not the best competition, but against better level of competition, PFL, RS, all that stuff. And she has shown 15 minutes performance. For her, as not to me. She's knocking this girl out. And if she doesn't hurt Dyer or, knock her out, I think it's going to be very hard for her to outpoint Dyer over 15 minutes, just because she's undersized, and Dyer is going to have the kick, she's going to have the punches, and, she's going to throw more volume. So, yeah, I think Foro needs to pressure. She needs to be in the pocket, and she needs Dyer to, exchange in the pocket and hope that she hurt her. If she doesn't, I think she's going to get outpointed. And I do think that the head kick is live for Dyer because she's really fast with it. And again, like I said, Foro does drop her hands. So if that happens, she get a bit tired, she drop her hands, that head kick's going to be right there. So that could be a path for Dyer. Imagine the scene if she get a knockout with the head kick on Dynamite Contender Series, the hype and everything. But yeah, I do think she wins a decision though. But I think that Foro, she's good, don't get me wrong, but I'm just not as high on her as most people are this week. It seems like she's, a good striker with power, but who's undersized, who's low volume, who has no grappling, upside. Dyer is a BJJ purple belt, and she's a stronger girl. If she wants takedown, I think Foro has issues getting up, and I don't think her takedown defense is all that good. Not saying Dyer is going to grapple, but if she won, plan B is there. So yeah, I think Dyer is the side here. Bigger girl, stronger girl, grappling upside if she wants to. I think she has the better striking of the two, more volume, a bit better level of competition, and she has, she's huge. Don't get me wrong, she's huge, but Dyer is also big. Dyer was not small at 125. She's gonna be much bigger than Foro in that fight. I think at face-off, people are gonna be surprised. But yeah, I'm really excited for it. I think Dyer should be a bigger favorite personally.
And if you look at like her line too, I guess like he said, she's fighting like a real competition here. But you look at her past 2 fights, like minus 1,500, minus 600, minus 500, minus 950. Now you're getting her under minus 200. I don't know. Seems pretty straightforward. Main event time: Anthony Garascio versus Steven Asplund. I mean, this is just a heavyweight slob fest, and I don't really have too much to say here. I mean, I think if Garasco can finish him in the first round, yeah, possible, probably find the win. But if not, the longer it goes, Aspen's going to form the swamp and drag him deep. So I don't know. Aspen late, Garasco early. Easy. That's my breakdown. What do you think, Key?
Yeah, I think Jelly Roll's decent, but like I wish that he would actually like be training for real. I'm not sure like what's the deal. Commentators are flowing in the fact that he's training out of his garage. All that shit leads me to believe that he most likely has no cardio. Um, but he looks good early. I mean, he hits hard. He has a striking background. He knows what he's doing. He's setting stuff up. He's easily the most dangerous guy Asplund has seen. And Asplund is it's weird because I do think that he's like one, he's apparently been like 500 pounds and has this like crazy weight loss journey, and that's part of the reason he's in MMA and all this bullshit. But I think that the guy isn't like bad, but he's just not athletic whatsoever. In a division where athletes are who's prevailing at heavyweight, and so I think that this guy he's just there and he's fighting other guys who are also fat asses and can't really harm him. So he just sort of chills and hangs around, and then once they're tired, he just has a little bit more dog in him. And I mean, some of the clinch combination he put together looked really nice and good. So I do think in rounds 2 and rounds 3, I think that Asplund is obviously the side, but I think that early his striking defense is not good. He's been touched up by guys who don't have the same explosion or power as Guasco. So I think that Anthony should get it done. I think he gets it done in round 1. That's my prediction. But Asplund, if he sticks around, he's a big guy. He could wear on Anthony. We haven't seen him outside of round 1, so we'll see here. But I think Anthony gets it done. But wouldn't be surprised to see Asplund come on late.
Try, what are you thinking here?
Yeah, fuck this fight, bro. It's a fucking shit show. I was trying to rush tape that one before the podcast, and I was like, "What am I fucking watching?"
It's not even worth your time. That's why I was pissed before. I was like, "This is such a waste of time."
I don't know if you guys know, but this guy Anthony had like a fixed fight or something. The fight that he had, the no contest, right? He knocked that guy out cold, basically. But that guy, he went out. When he went out, it was so weird. He went out and he did something like that with his hand when he went out. That was kind of weird. Then he wasn't out, so that was kind of sketchy. And that shot that he hit him with didn't really look that much powerful. And then, it looked like he got a KO1. After that, they overtuned that fight. And if you look, it says that, Department of Licensing and Regulatory Affairs, because that's a violation. I don't know what it is. But if you go and you watch that Jerry Watterson record, he had two fights that got flagged to no contest. So that guy is out there fixing, getting knocked out. That's not a good look. And the 2 other fights he got, it's a quick knockout. But I'll say this dude Anthony, he's a knockout waiting to happen. Honestly, I'm not impressed at all. But yeah, I'm not impressed with this other guy either. But at least he can go. I've seen more of him go 15-minute clinch. He has a terrible ground game, but I don't think that's gonna matter here. And he doesn't seem to have a bad chin. And that guy Anthony is really hittable. So that's just a shit show, honestly. I don't know why. Again, that's the main event somehow. But yeah, maybe the under at 180 could be value because they're just gonna swing. Anthony's gonna go at it, swing bombs, and he has no defense. So yeah, I don't know. I think he should win, but yeah, there's just such a shit show, bro. I don't know why it's the main event.
Yeah, that's pretty straightforward. That's the show, guys. That's the
the comments. It does say that. It does say that, but I don't know. I'm not sure if he's the. It says that's exactly what it said, but I'm not sure if he's responsible because that guy Watterson. If you go and watch the other fight against Jonathan Martin, it's not. It says that it's a unharmed combat commission. So that was a decision lost, that fight. I don't know what's going on, but some sketchy things.
How do fighters like this even find their way to the Dana White Contender Series? Like that's what I'm talking about.
That's
Guys
like
who are
3-0 fighter and 5-1. I know that guy's on short notice. It's not Steven is not the one supposed to be here, but still, I don't know why they're putting that guy 3-0. Like the last guy, I think Johnson last week, like the guy that fought at heavyweight, that's going to be at the middleweight in the UFC. Like that guy was green, but like I could see the upside, I could see the skills, But those guys, I'm like, why are they here? I really don't get it.
Yeah. Key, what are you thinking?
Yeah, I gave my breakdown for this fight.
All right, let's show.
Peg won another breakdown, Key.
Yeah, give me another breakdown. That wasn't enough. No, I mean this is garbage. So
yeah, he's the champ of that. Yeah, to be fair, he is. But I don't know, man.
Yeah, they are here to get KO'd by Mario Pinto in the future. 100% champ. All right, these guys join their links in the bios. They sell all their picks for these if they're taking picks. Like, comment, subscribe. We'll be back live Wednesday night with Jewish Better for UFC Noche. I think we're doing it at 6 p.m., right? Or 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We'll go live.
6 p.m.
6 p.m. All right, 6 p.m. Wednesday. We'll see you guys there. Let's see if we can make any money with the North Contender Series here. All right, peace.
Peace out.